Ladies and gentlemen, mostly gentlemen, I can see. I'm very glad that there's so many of you today joining us. So everyone who are still not in this lovely conference space, please step in so we could begin our day, which is going to be very intense. As you might already know, when you have, get acquainted to the agenda. Maybe the first part is more laid back. You can make notes and listen to the presentations. But the afternoon sessions, especially I'm really already feeling sorry for our teams in the alliances. It's going to be a hell of a day. I hope you will survive. Even so, I'm very glad that we have this chance to gather the potential cooperation partners for this first Rail Baltic Alliance Suppliers Day. I should have started from the introduction. My name is Priit. I'm the head of communications for Rail Baltica project here in Estonia. Having been worked for the project for more than 8 years, I've seen it grow. And this is a testament to that fact. I was the 6th employee of Rail Baltic Estonia. There's more than 160 of us now. So you can actually, understand how fast the project is now progressing. So, not much further ado, I would like to give the floor to our CEO, Anvar Salomets, for the short welcoming speech. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, dear guests, suppliers, colleagues, partners. Let's start on time because the schedule is tight, not only today, but the 2030 is already quite close. But we have good tools for that. Alliance 1, Alliance 2, of course, already signed contracts. So I would say that the best teams are available. It's almost 4.5 months since we signed the alliance contracts, and I would say that it has been an interesting but an intense time period, and it will get even more intense during the coming months and then coming years. The overall message is still, despite the southern neighbors or the progress in south, the message in Estonia is full speed, 2030, let's make it available. And as I'm saying, we need Porsche when we need to speed up to 100, up to 200 kilometers per hour. You don't need a Porsche if you will ride it with 50 kilometers per hour. So that's why we have the alliance partners available. For me personally, the alliance is definitely, I would say, an interesting model. Of course, a lot of hesitations have been there on the previous days, but so far the experience is positive. That's why you have been invited here to share the understanding we have had already with our partners and to share the plans which will wait us on the coming months. For me, the positive challenge, although the contractors and the partners are already struggling, for me the positive challenge is that we will have the bottlenecks in resources already on 2026, which is a positive challenge, not a negative one. There will be not enough excavators, bulldozers, trucks available, which is actually good because we have the suppliers here to provide what we will need. To sum up shortly, I'm wishing you a fruitful day. The speed sessions will follow on the afternoon, but before that you will get a very precise insight to the Alliance 1 progress, Alliance 2 progress, and the there is some time even for the questions, of course, for the alliance introductions. So yeah, please be keen, interested, ask the questions, and have a very fruitful day. Thank you.
Thank you, Anvar. But now let's get going. The first performer on stage, so to speak, my dear colleague Janar, who holds the sort of modest position of Tallinn-Pärnu portfolio manager, but he's more known as sort of a godfather of this alliance model that we are now implementing in the Rail Baltica. So he's the guilty one that we are, gathered here today as well. So Janar, here we go.
Thanks. No need for introduction from my side. Priit already did it. But yeah, I know that the Rail Baltica project itself is quite well known, at least in the Baltic area, but most likely now in a wider range in Europe countries. But still, I would like to say that it's good to do the general overview of where we are at the moment and what is the project actually. So give this introductory slides for you. Again, Rail Baltica, what is the project itself is that we are restoring the missing link between the Baltics and the rest of the Europe. And maybe I'd like to emphasize what is the objective of the project more is that now it's a new economic and security corridor. I think the security part of the importance of the railway is more important now than it was when the project launched tens of years ago now. The idea has been inside the big politicians' heads a long time ago, but now, as we see, and like Anvar said, that the project is progressing in a quite fast pace. It's and to be more specific, what is the scope in Estonia is that we're building a high-speed railway. First of that sort in Estonia, in the Baltics. The length of the track is 213 kilometers. It will be constructed as a single track for the first phase, but the project itself is performed in a way that in future it is possible to build a trouble track as well. In Estonia scope, we will have two major passenger terminals which are located in Ülemiste and in Pärnu. There will be a Muuga freight terminal built, and there will be two infrastructure maintenance facilities, IMFs we call those. And these will be constructed in Pärnu and in Soorevahe. And if we talk about dry ports, then we have done the preliminary designs to build in the phase 2 the dry ports as well, but these will not be constructed in the phase 1 for your knowledge. Ülemiste rolling stock depot, which will maintain all the rolling stock in the future. This is going to be built in the phase 1. We will have 2 regional stations, and all the stations will be built in the phase 1, but with a reduced scope. Reduced scope means that the buildings itself will be a little bit smaller and the parking lots will be a little bit smaller, but there is always a possibility in the phase 2 to build it more large scale than it is at the moment in the phase 1. 100 plus railway crossings, Ecoducts 33, a lot of crossings with utilities, and 21.5 kilometers of noise barriers. So these are the general figures that will be included in the Rail Baltica Phase 1 scope. A little bit about the progress. So where we are at the moment. And actually the mainline construction now has started. And I will show you the pictures as well in the next slides. But during the period of 2019 and 2025, the emphasis was to build all these crossings, viaducts, ecoducts, utility crossings, and over 30 of those were built during that period. So if you would drive around the country, drive international roads, then you would at some point see that the road raises up, goes down, and nothing's below there. But now we are actually building the main line as well in the top part of the Rail Baltica sections. From 2023 till at the moment, till present basically, the mainline substructure construction has started. 11 contracts in the top part have been signed during the period of 2024 and 2025. Works are ongoing already inside that 72-kilometer bubble there, shown in the slide. And another 30 kilometers works will start in fourth quarter 2025. So if we are in the end of this year, more than 100 kilometers of substructure construction is ongoing. And the construction itself takes 3 to 4 years. It will vary according to the sections and contracts. But if we come to the time, basically in the end of 2028, we will have the main line, at least in the top part, ready. So here are some illustrations or pictures that what we have done already in Estonia. So there you see the crossings, there you see the ecoducts. Also you see the mainline construction already, what is done. Here's a picture of, it's not far away from this location. From actually, this section starts from Ülemiste and continues to the Soodevahe. It's a 4.8 kilometer section, and here you see the mainline construction is ongoing. And just to give you another idea that how we are progressing at the moment is that, for example, if we take a section, we call it Rapla Third, then you already see that the mainline embankment works are actively ongoing. Its piling works are ongoing and so on. So in that 100 kilometers, we are progressing very well, but we still need to progress in the sections which come after those 100 kilometers. And that's why we chose this alliance strategy to cover basically all these sections which were left without contracts yet. And this is the first glimpse of the results of this big procurement that we had. We have signed 2 contracts. One is for the Alliance 1, we call. It's, we call it Honest Track. And the partners are named here. Hopefully Laura will then explain later on more in detail. And the scope of the Alliance 1 Honest Track is that to build the superstructure from top, from Ülemiste till Pärnu, and to build substructure from Tootsi to Pärnu, which is that small bubble down there. So its superstructure works is 142 kilometers, and the embankment works, or the mainline substructure works, is 36.6 kilometers. And the contract value without purchasing the strategic materials is approximately 400 million euros. I would like to say that, yeah, without strategic materials, if we talk about strategic materials, then we talk about rails, ballast, sleepers, and turnouts. The second contract that we signed was with, we call it Alliance 2 Direct, and Stefan is here. And most likely he will also talk about more. What is the consortium all about? And their responsibility is to build the section from Pärnu to Latvian border. 58 kilometers, expected cost without strategic materials, 332 million euros. And it consists of Saab and Starper. Basically everything is in the Alliance 2's responsibility. We also have several, we call it the point-up objects inside the project. And next to us, basically, if you arrived, you might have seen that we are already constructing the Ülemiste passenger terminal, which will be completed by the end of 2028. There is only 1 or 2 contracts still to be signed, but nevertheless, we are on schedule with that project. In the Pärnu International Passenger Terminal, the procurement will be launched in 2026 for the building itself, but all substructures, I mean, the platforms will be built by the Alliance 1. I talked about the regional stations. In terms of regional stations, there will be a separate procurement to build all the outer areas and the buildings, but the platforms will be built by the alliances. Muuga Freight Terminal will be procured by a separate procurement, and there will be a separate construction company doing that. This is not inside the alliance scope. And maybe just to say, to stop for a second there, that the Soorevahe-Muuga section, which is specifically important for freight traffic, will be procured separately. It's not within the scope of the alliances, just for you know. I talked about the rolling stock depot. Rolling stock depot procurement we will launch in a month time. There will be a separate procurement, but the superstructure will be built by the Alliance 1 in there. IMFs I talked, and the triports I talked also, that the triports are phase 2 scope, so will not be built inside the phase 1. And to come back with the IMFs, the infrastructure maintenance facilities, that these locations initially will be used as construction bases. I mean, to storage the materials that we need, a large amount of materials that we need, to set up superstructure factory, I mean, rail factory. And that's why the Alliance 1 is also responsible to deliver the works regarding the substructure and superstructure in those IMFs as well. So just to give you an idea. So in general, we have lot of work ahead of us. The alliance's scope covers most of the works that we need to do in the Rail Baltica project, but not all, because we are still dependent on the subsystems. and the subsystems of CCS and E&E. And I don't know how much of you know, but the CCS subsystem will be procured by RB Rail. The procurement is ongoing. And regarding the E&E contract now has been signed. And works regarding the generic design has now are in a verge of starting. But we have to do a good cooperation with them eventually. But the timeline, again, like Anwar said, is quite narrow. We don't have a lot of time. There are a lot of challenges regarding the resources, regarding the machinery, regarding whatever else is ahead of us. But like shown here on the slide, that we don't have a lot of time to do the construction. We don't have a lot of time to do the testing and commissioning to finish by the 2030. So we need to come up with a good plan, and then hopefully this will all happen together with your help. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Janar. So I hope you all got at least a brief overview what this project is about. And now we can further go into more in-depth understanding of each alliance. So the first one taking the stage is Laura Järvinen. She's the executive project manager for on S-Track. So this is the section from Tallinn to Pärnu. So floor is yours, Laura.
Thank you. Good morning and tere hommikust. First of all, I would like to say that it's really nice to see so much interest here. So, as Janar mentioned here, it's really important that we get also you as possible suppliers for our alliance. So as you can see in my presentation, we have a lot of works coming in the upcoming years, and we also need services, machines, also workforce to succeed in this. Okay, so I will continue a bit more on the details on the Alliance 1. So we have this first section here. Okay, I have a pointer here. First section here altogether, which was explained a bit. So it's EU standard gauge and maximum speed 249 for the passenger traffic and 120 for the freight traffic. And the target cost will be locked in the end of the development phase. I will show you the timeline a bit later on. So now that we are in the development phase, we are trying to set everything up ready for the implementation phase. And the plan is to move on to the implementation phase approximately next year in May. We also have some preliminary critical works that we have identified that we need to do before moving on to the implementation phase. And these include preparation of the access roads, melioration works, etc., so that we can start smoothly also the construction works then in May. Overall view to our alliance, here you can see our working sections. We have the first 6 sections are concentrating on the whole Tootsi-Pärnu section, where we have both the substructure and superstructure works. And we have separate sections also for Räämabok and Pärnu Bridge, and also Pärnu International Passenger Terminal, that are exceptional objects there that for the construction works we need to be planning these works carefully. And then also we have the superstructure for the whole line for the working section 7, and then we have these point type objects and other special objects there starting from working section 8. So passenger terminals, depots, construction bases, IMFs, local stops, and construction base and IMF also in Pärnu. Here's a bit more detail also about what is included in these point type objects. So we have the Ülemiste terminal, we have the railway superstructure, Ülemiste depot, we have the superstructure and the access roads, Soodevahe IMF superstructure and yard development. Local stations, we have the superstructure and the station-related works, Pärnu IMF yard development, and then Pärnu passenger terminal, station platforms, tunnels, foundations, structural works. So maybe the main interface that we've had here is that the superstructure works and the railway works that is related to the mainline works, we also have it in the alliance. So this is a change of scope also related to the previous tender phase, just to make both the construction logistics, construction phasing, and also the construction of the superstructure smooth. So all this superstructure works from Tallinn to Pärnu is included in our scope. And then to highlight a bit, so what works are outside of the alliance scope, we have the substructure works from Ülemiste to Tootsi, which were in the previous subcontractors or site contractors for the substructure works. Then we have these terminal buildings and also other construction that might be related to the building itself or the area. These are actually quite detailed, defined in our scope where is the interface going now. But the main rule here is that the buildings will be in separate contracts later on. And these will be taken into account in our schedule and in the handovers and everything. Then we also have the CCS and DENE, subsystem design and construction as separate. So as was mentioned before, this interface is really important also to succeed in this final target to get the trains running in 2030. Then land acquisition, deforestation and regulatory assessments. These are done by the RBE. A lot of these works have been already started. And these are going on, and also was started before the alliances. And for the alliance one, these seems to be in a good shape, so we have a good possibility to move on to the implementation phase within these works. Okay, a little bit on the project timeline. So these are very general. So as you can understand, we have a lot of different type of construction going on in our alliance. And that is the reason why we also have construction works proceeding in phases. So this gives general idea how these construction works are scheduled in our works. We will start from Ülemiste side and also to work from Ülemiste to the south with structures and the earthworks. Also will be starting from Tootsi to Pärnu. So it will be the railway then after we are ready with Tootsi, Pärnu, structures and earthworks, and also that the subcontracts make it possible to continue with the railways. These will be started from the Ülemiste side. And we have here now the plan to move on to the implementation phase 2026. We start the procurements for these works, also for the other resources, for the materials and everything. We will start these already during the development phase. Now this market dialogue is for preliminary information, quite detailed information still on procurement plans that will be coming on the next market dialogue that we have planned in the beginning of next year. So I hope also to see a lot of interested people there. But for this market dialogue, I hope that we can already tell you what will be coming, what kind of materials, services and works will be needed as a subcontract for the alliance. So I want to show you also the workforce requirements, what we have now as a preliminary information from the schedule that we have, from the works that we have. This will change as the schedules will change and everything, but just to show you why it's important you to be here. So already for the next couple of years, we need workforce, almost 900 people on the site. So that would mean a lot of people, a lot of resources, and although we have our own resources, we are also going to do subcontracting for these works. For the equipment, the peak is going somewhere close to 400 machines altogether, and this is also for the main machines, the dumpers, dozers, excavators, wheel loaders, roller compactors, etc. So these are also the resource challenges that we are going to have. A positive challenge, I would say. And here you can also see the division by the teams. So in blue, which is the biggest one here in these resource requirements, is earthworks. But then the workforce for the next 2 years, it will be quite evenly challenging for both earthworks and also for structures. So here you can see the trend that the first 2 years mainly for the earthworks and structures, and the next 2 years for the railways. Then a few words about the procurement principles. So first, the qualification process. So of course we want to have that all the sources need to be duly qualified within the finances, ethics, capacity, resources, and these will be checked during the procurement phase. We also have this principle, best for the project, which we try to follow each day in our work. So if we have alternatives or choices that we need to make, or how we want to do our work, we want to choose this best for the project. So we hope that this is also the principle that we are going to have also in the subcontracts. Then we also have the target to develop and promote the local market whenever possible. So this is also something that we are trying to develop. Do we have long-term agreements, or how do we ensure that we have enough local resources also available? We know that we need other resources as well, but to have local resources is also important. Then the project needs, these are planned, and we have a procurement plan under work already now, and we are updating that and get more information on that, and to try to make all the procurements based on this procurement plan that will be also part of the approved part of the procurement by the AMT, so the management team. Then for the environmental requirements, the environmental study that has been approved for Alliance 1, so all the activities need to follow also the requirements for the EIA. So here you can see, as was mentioned, our alliance parties. We have TSO, NGE, Merco, GRK, and Sweco for consultancy. The procurement will be done by the Alliance, so we will plan all the procurements by the Alliance, and also planning the works and aligning the works with the schedule and everything in the Alliance. But then as the Alliance, it's not a legal entity, so the contract will be done by one of the Alliance parties. So you don't need to think that what will be the Alliance party doing the contract, but it will be the Alliance then together anyway within the project. Then about the safety principles. So what we also expect, we expect also from the Alliance, but also from the subcontractors. So the culture of care, that people really want to do what they are doing, and also we try to provide the framework to deliver health and safety excellence. And to this blame-free culture and best for the project, to remember these also in our work. And also we hope that our subcontractors, they embrace also the safety culture, so that every day we have a possibility to go home unharmed. So 0 accidents in the workplace principle should follow also, both in the Alliance and in the subcontractor works. Okay, maybe a short introduction also to the volumes that we are going to have in this Alliance. So these are based on our current status of the design and information. So here you can see that the volumes are high. So in the earthworks we are going to have 4.6 million cubic meters works totally, and the machinery estimate is approximately 450 units. Then for the structures, we have 22 different structures at the moment. So viaducts, bridges, tunnels, stations, aqueducts, bioslab. We have some really big structures, might be also biggest bridges that will be built for the Rail Baltic and for Estonia. We also have a lot of concrete and steel needed for these structures, and these will also be planned in this procurement plan, how we tackle this challenge with these needs. And you understand now that we have a lot of resources, both workforce and machines, we also need to plan the supply services. So how do we handle the logistics? How do we handle the sites? How do we handle the normal daily activities of these workers? Part of the works will be built in the middle of forest or the bogs or somewhere. So this is also something that we need to plan. Do we have own cities for the workers? So office containers, everything related to that, that we also need to consider. Then for the railway as well. So when we start with the railways, it has been estimated June 27 already with the first work of the railways. And the amount of rails, ballast and sleepers are also quite huge for the whole project. And we have the manpower estimate needed also about 400 people. So also here, even though we have our own resources, we hope to hire some local and also to have local resources as a subcontract. So all these works, they need additional workforce and resources that we need to tackle in these procurements. A few words also about the site-wide logistics. So just for information, so if you are interested on delivering materials or machines. So we have the main railhead at Soorevahe, close to Tallinn. So there we have the ballast, rail welding factory, sleepers, rail wagons and machinery. And then we have here planned construction bases and also site services worker accommodations. So Rapla, Tootsi, and here close to Pärnu also. And to add also storage areas for these embankment materials. So we have a preliminary plan to have these storage areas for delivery every 5 kilometers from Tootsi to Pärnu along the route corridor. Okay, I think that was a lot of details already, but maybe to give an overview what kind of resource needs we are having. I hope you have a fruitful day with our experts, with the speed dating and everything, and we will be pleased to answer your questions here throughout the day. So I hope you have a nice day. Thank you.
Thank you, Laura. It was very educating what we just saw here on the presentation. I'm more than sure that the next presentation is going to be as much as educating as was the previous one. So I give the floor to the Executive Project Manager of Alliance 2, the section from Pärnu to the Estonian-Latvian border. A lot of different disciplines involved in that section, particularly. So Stefan, you're next.
Thanks, Britt. I have a simple life. I have a simple life for several reasons. One of them is that Laura already exposed many things which also apply to Alliance 2 and which I will not repeat. That's good news for you. The second good news is that Alliance 2 has a different configuration because we start from almost a blank page. There is nothing built. We don't have much ground investigation data. We don't have the environmental assessment ready. So we are more in a provisional part. So here the system is the same. It's the same travel speed. It's the same, and it's not 12 kilometers per hour for freight transport. It's just to make sure that you read. It's 120, of course, just to see if you're reading. Quantities are different. We are in a very flat part. We divided into 7 sections. We are in a very flat part. There are no major structures as you would see in Alliance 1. And there is no IMF, but there is basically we start from scratch. Big structure schedule. We have a number of aqueducts and bridges. The longest one is less than 200 meters. Structure types. You have railway bridges, underpass, aqueducts, local stops. There are only 2 local stops. We don't call them stations because they are rather small, but they are part of the scope. I'll start with structures. 3-span bridge. We have 4 fully integrated integral bridge, but they are rather short, as you see. Aqueducts, as standard as we can. I would like to insist on one thing. In Alliance 2, the main challenges are more resources and logistics than technique. We will be operating in a part of the country which is quite flat and very scarcely populated. So we need to build or to widen or strengthen many roads, and that will happen very soon. And we will definitely have a problem for accommodating the workers. I will not show you a workforce curve because our planning is still under preparation. And nevertheless, we know that the peak manpower should be around between 700 and 1,000 people. Between 700 and 1,000 people, if you know the geography between Pärnu and the Latvian border, that's very difficult to imagine where they will be accommodated. So there will be major issues. For rail, same as Alliance 1, only one track will be built. I will show pictures which are more obvious. So only one track will be built, but we build all the infrastructure for the second rail. Railway materials, 60 kilometers, that's more or less 100,000 sleepers. That's 120 kilometers of rail. I repeat, we're almost everywhere in single track. At this moment, there are some framework agreements which were signed or ready to sign by RBE, but we are looking for alternatives, and RBE are interested in listening to alternatives. Very standard rails. Railway construction program. We start from the end. That's a good planning starts from the end. So construction for the rail. Once again, it's similar to Alliance 1, but with a major difference. We don't and we will not have rail access, at least at this moment, because the only possible rail access would come from Alliance 1, and Alliance 1 will not, the rail part will not be ready at the beginning of 2028. That's why most of the work, or probably all of the rail work, will be done by truck, and that's seriously complicated. That's for this. Some slides are missing. It seemed that some slides were missing. Okay, in the meantime, I will repeat one thing which Laura said, which is we don't go necessarily for the cheapest, and by far we look for the best for project. The Alliance 2 is this we say, yeah, but there are other slides which disappeared, it seems. Alliance 2 is a joint venture of 5 companies, 3 construction companies, 2 design companies. We work on the basis of unanimous decisions. All decisions are unanimous between the 6 entities, that is the 5 service providers plus RBE. Then, once the decision is taken, one of the 5 entities places the order. It's exactly the same as Laura mentioned for Alliance 1. That is, so it's exactly the same principle. The joint venture, the alliance, is not a legal entity, so you will get orders from one of the 5 entities. What else should we say regarding quantities? While we are trying to find out where the slides disappeared. Quantities, we are talking about 500,000 tons of ballast. They will have to be, all heavy materials will have to be sourced locally or delivered probably through Pärnu port or Salakriva. We are very close to the Latvian border, therefore it's possible also to have many materials delivered through Salakriva or from Latvia. No, this one we saw. 1 second, excuse me. Sorry, last minute slides sometimes appear and disappear. This one. So yes, the issue of logistics will be critical. Logistics through Pornu, through Salacriva. Regarding the schedule, remember what Jana showed with nice colors. You saw that we are starting from the south, which might be surprising because Alliance 1 will start north to south in order to be able to lay the track and do the railway works in rail mode. The problem is that Alliance 1 will reach the interface, the border on Rayu River only in 2029, too late for Alliance 2 to start the railway works. That's why we will start by trucks. We will start from the south for a very simple reason. It's that is the area where we have geotechnical data. When we will have the environmental permit first. We should have the building permits first, and we have the land acquisition first. That's why we will start from the south, obviously with trucks, and then after let's say beginning of 2027, we will also start from the north. So we will have two work fronts during those years. And the construction, the earthworks and structures still have to be completed by end of 2028. The railway works will start in 2028 and 2027 and finish at the beginning of 2029 to give time for the ENE, the catenary, let's say power supply, and CCS, the signaling, to do their commissioning. Once again, I would like to insist, yes, if we find the slides. Yes, that looks like it. Looks like it. Even before. Even before. Up. These. Yes, we can start here. Regarding the scope of work, here again I insist we start from scratch. That means the scope of work is similar to what happens in Alliance 1 in the southern part. That is from deforestation by RBE. We start earthworks, embankments, everything. So thanks. We found our slides. So this is what we want to build in phase 1. That also applies to Alliance 1. That means the substructure is built, the superstructure is built, but only for one track. Typical bridges and aqueducts. I would like to insist on standardizing and prefabricating. Why? Once again, we have a logistics and sourcing aspect, which is very important in Alliance 2. The more we prefabricate, the more we standardize, the simpler the sourcing problem will be. Development phase is similar, the schedule is similar to what Laura said in more detail. We have been working on design optimization based on the value engineering which we received from RBE. During 3 months, we spent 3 months optimizing it. It ended yesterday, so I cannot show you the results yet. Now we are producing the main design, and we will start the request for quotations before Christmas, and we will have the negotiation period during the first quarter. The land is very, very flat. It's 90% embankments, and we have very unbalanced earthworks. That means the quarries, we're already in contact with more than 60 quarries for the embankment material. Okay, sections I already showed. We are starting the geological investigation. There is a huge work to be done. Now the proposed advanced work which we want to start before Christmas or just after, it's geodesic issue. Access roads widening and strengthening, creating access roads, and maybe some storage areas. Once again, we need lots of quarry material. We are, at this moment, we are testing the quarries for quantities and quality. Once we have this, we will define when do we need to start ordering material from the quarries. The procurement principles are the same as those mentioned by Laura. Fair access and openness to the market. The orders you will receive are not under the public procurement procedures, but we try to adhere to its principles of fair access to the market. Decision is collective, and of course, all decisions are cooperation have to comply with the competition laws too. Where are we at? And cost, this one, railway package I mentioned. Okay, that's basically it. And I am 26 seconds ahead of schedule. So, Preet, you have the floor again. I would really insist on Alliance 2, the logistics and sourcing aspect, definitely. That's why we are here today.
Thank you, Stefan. And sorry for this little hiccup with the technology. It is usually our friend, but today, you know, things happen when you go live. So, but as Stefan said, we are actually quite a bit ahead of the proposed agenda of the day. But now I think it's maybe a good time to have a small Q&A session. So if you have any questions about what you saw, then I really urge you to ask the question. I understand there will be more in-depth talks in the afternoon session when we have the speed dating, business speed dating format, so to speak. But currently we have Laura and Stefan here, so they can answer, I guess, and Janar as well, they can answer all questions that you might have in mind for the wider scope of the project and alliances. So so yeah, just raise your hand, and maybe it's better for you to stand up to ask the question. I think the room is small enough, and we can manage without dragging the microphone all around the room. So let's just see how it goes. So anybody, any questions at the moment? Okay, yeah, thank you.
Good morning. Thank you for the presentation. It's really informative. I'm Richard Smith, Chief Executive of CRS Resource from the UK. Where will the alliances be based? Will they be based together or?
In this building.
Yeah.
we are in this building. Yeah.
Maybe we can use the mic.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely.
So yeah, the question was that where will the alliances be based? So we will be based here in Tallinn. So the main office will be here, I understand, for both alliances. So there will be site offices, of course, in Pärnu and throughout the line.
Will you be based together?
Yeah, we are actually having currently a big room together already. So we are sharing the office space with both alliances to have cooperation.
Have you looked around the globe for support and help already, and ideas and things like that, and how come you came up with an alliance model?
That's a question more for that's an upstream question.
Did I understand correctly that the question is how did we, as a client, came up with the alliance model? Yes. Okay. So I think it started more maybe 2 years ago when we took a we generated the understanding where the project is, and we generated the understanding what are the interfaces, how many interfaces are there inside to do the construction, and we analyzed whether the usual contracts would suit for the delivery of the project. And the outcome was that the alliance is the only way, because if we want to stick to the time frame, if we want to stick to the changing policies, changing funding criteria and so on, so the alliance is quite flexible in that sense. So that's why we make that decision that we will go for the alliance. And again, it's a cooperative model that I feel that will give the best results eventually for the project. Thanks.
So any other questions, maybe, of the alliances or the scope of the project? Oh, here we go.
Sorry, I don't mean to introduce. All good. Got loads of questions. So, from when you're actually installing the track, are you looking at any kind of mechanisation things, and are you talking to the UK about high output machinery and things like that?
Okay, so the question was when we have the track installation, are we looking for some mechanization and these machines? So yeah, maybe you will hear in the railway speed dating more about it, but yes, I can answer now first for the Alliance one. We have TSO and GE as a partner, alliance partner, and they have a lot of resources for these track-specific machines. So of course we are analyzing how we can get these in use in here, but of course if we need some more additional machines, that will also be planned. But yeah, mainly we are trusting now the resources from the TSO and GE. So that was for Alliance 1.
For Alliance 2 is, yes, we would dream of using as many rail machinery for installing rail. Nevertheless, the problem is access. I forgot to mention that we go to the Latvian border, but we know there is a world beyond that border. Unfortunately, our Latvian friends will not have they will not start the earthworks before 2027, so even too late for the machinery to come from the south. So it cannot come from the north, cannot come from the south. It's a bit complicated. In-house, in Alliance 2, we have Budimex. There is a representative of Budimex there who will be participating in the speed dating in the afternoon. Budimex have resources. If needed, Bouygues has a subsidiary which is called Colas Rail, which could also provide machinery. Our main problem at this moment is how to get that machinery to the site.
So yeah, more questions. Let's take from this side if it's okay. Yeah.
My name is Espen Allen. I'm representing NCC industry. And I have a question regarding the ballast material. Will it all be found in the domestic area, or do you need to import?
Question about ballast and whether it be needed to import it.
I can answer that. We have to import all the ballast material. We don't have these type of materials in Estonia available. So yeah, the answer is yes, we need to import.
I would add something that we will have to import, and we will have to import by boat. Muga, I guess, for Alliance 1, basically. For Alliance 2, Muga seems not to be a good option, because after offloading in Muga, you would have to truck it all the way down to beyond Pärnu. So Pärnu Port or Salakriva might be better options. Beware, Pärnu and Salakriva are much more restricted in terms of draft depth, boat draft than Muga. Let's say that boats of more than 6 meter draft cannot go to neither to Salakriva nor to Pärnu. So you have to think about options. Yes, the ballast will be imported. Yes, it will be by boat. For Alliance 2, it will have to be through Salakriva or Pärnu.
I think we had another question from that side as well.
Morning, my name is from SBS Engineering. I have a question about the regional stations. I understand there's 12 regional stations. But what you're doing in Alliance 1 and 2 is you just doing the platforms for the stations and not as much of the superstructure and the structure of the station. So what's the plan for those stations and when the design will be fulfilled and when the construction will be fulfilled for those stations?
Okay, I think I need to. The question was about the local stops and halts that we have included in the project. Actually, out of those 12, we have more than half of the designs, preliminary designs, already ready. We need to fine-tune those. Yes.
We did the regional station prototypes at the same like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So are you talking about the design which those guidelines or there have more developed design?
We have done already a more developed design in the RBE, not within the alliance, but the detailed technical designs to build the railway platforms, the concrete parts, and the underpasses, basically what we call it the railway structures. These designs will be done by the alliances, and also the construction will be done by the alliances. But for example, if we talk about the outer areas, the parking lots, the recreational areas, these will be procured all separately by a separate procurement by us, by the client. And also the building, the station building, which will be the in the lowest level for the phase 1. These procurements will be done by the RB ourselves. So, yeah, most of the concrete works will be done by the alliances, but everything else will be procured by us separately, including also the, for example, the platform top layers, the surface layers, the fencing, and so on. These will be included in those separate procurements.
And is there a time frame for this? That's directly by Rail Baltic?
Yes, yes, we have a time frame. From the top of my head, I would say that I don't have my colleague here, but it was next year that we plan to launch the procurement. And the construction in those 12 stations must be finished by the end of 2029.
So do we have more questions maybe? Yes, thank you. I will give you this, you're so nearby.
Thank you. I'm one of your subcontractor for CCS tender. So my question is, I don't know which alliance, but command control signaling is centralized in all 3 Baltic states, or it is independent, and you need to have a data center in each country or one centralized data center. My question is, which country? It's very political, sorry.
We're going very specific here. So.
Mr. Minister Yana.
Yes, thanks for that question. Really difficult to answer because, to be honest, the CCS procurement itself is carried out by RB Rail. Of course, we have our people included in that procurement, but the procurement itself is quite secret. So we don't get that much information out of that. But we have now made a decision that the operational command and control center will be built in the Ülemiste rolling stock depot area. There will be a separate building for that. There will be a separate design procurement for that, and there will be a separate construction procurement for that. Regarding the CCS itself, at the moment, and also I think in that OCC there will be a data center as well for the Estonia, and the OCC will be built for the Estonian part only at the moment. There are discussions ongoing whether we could build one OCC for the 3 Baltics, which will be maybe located in Estonia, but we haven't made that decision yet. And the CCS procurement itself, at the moment, the forecasted contract signing is in the middle of 2026. So the procurement is still continuing. Did I answer your question?
But what about OBCC?
Backup OCC, we have thoughts. Initially, it was planned to be built in the Pärnu IMF area, but now we are replanning a little bit. There maybe we can use already existing buildings to set it up. No such decisions that, for example, if we try to use the one OCC for the 3 countries. These are major decisions, those haven't been made yet.
Okay, I think we're on a roll here, so yeah. Maybe I will give you the microphone, maybe it's better.
Oh, thank you. Right, I'm from Jaran Raymond from Leka, Norway. Leka International. I'm from Norway. I have a question about the frost insulation. I saw it was sand that was suggested as a frost insulation material. And the question is basically the same as NCC. The sand, is that local or will it be imported? And actually, what are the frost insulation requirements in Estonia in general?
Yes, we are planning to use sand, and there is plenty of sand, at least in the Alliance 2 area. We have plenty of sand. And requirements, I would give just a reference, which our technical reference is the 1941 winter, which was an extremely tough winter. We designed for 100 years, so this is our reference winter. If you want more detail, maybe in the afternoon at the earthworks, speed dating.
Yes, I could complement that. So we are also studying the local possibilities to deliver the sand for the frost layer.
So, maybe some more questions. We have plenty of time. Otherwise, you are going to have a very long lunch, which will start very early. So, please, maybe some more questions from the audience. Okay. Okay, did you get the question? Yeah.
Yes, maybe this is for both alliances, I think the same. But okay, the baseline of the requirements comes, of course, from the Rail Baltic Rail and Rail Baltic Estonia. So we are using the same baseline of requirements. Of course, there might be some additional requirements which will be also during the planning and design phase that we will describe in these procurements for the structures.
Life is simple, as I say.
Do you want to add anything?
No, it's just exactly the same baseline, and also adaptations, adjustments can be made for best for project. Still, we will push very hard for standardizing and prefabricating, that's for sure.
Okay, maybe some more? I must have some more questions, or you're just keeping them all to yourself for the afternoon sessions.
Our slides were so good that they have no more.
Yeah, go ahead. Of course, do not be modest here.
Do you have any CO2 requirements or limits for emissions?
Okay, who wants to take that question? Okay, Janar.
I'll take all the difficult questions. I have to generalize a little bit because, of course, Rail Baltica, we call it the green project. We try to be as emit as low carbon footprint as we can, or emit as less CO2 as we can. But we don't have actually any specific requirements regarding to that. We tried to calculate it afterwards, that what was the CO2 emissions, but we haven't had I would say, in-depth discussions regarding applying, for example, CO2 criteria to the procurement. We haven't had those yet, but there might be in some cases that we will evaluate whether what is the footprint of the materials or so on to make the best for the project decisions. But I see that Stefan or Laura, you want to?
I can continue.
Quick one, yes. In addition to what Jana said, yes, in our comparative tables of offers, there will be some space for CO2, and that will be part of the criteria, yes. We don't have a target as such, but yes, when we compare with all other criteria equal, CO2 might come into the picture. Clearly, it's part of our comparative tables of offers.
Yes, we have the same situation in Alliance 1, so we are discussing how to calculate, how to evaluate, but the target is, of course, to decrease the footprint, CO2 footprint. So we are going to have targets anyway for the CO2 to have measures that we can have lower footprint. And that may also be shown also in these procurements then later on.
Okay, here we are. Two more questions. We start with here.
What about the whole scope? I mean, right now you're only focusing on the Baltics and also connecting to the European, like Poland, Germany, and so on. Phase 1. So we heard that it's a political question again. The phase 1, when Rail Baltica started some years ago, right? So it is connecting Baltic states to European Railway Network, HSR. Now we understand that you're only focusing on the 3 Baltic states, is it correct? The main line.
So the question was that whether the Baltics are building the railway and Poland is not. No. Sorry? Entire? Okay. This is the scope of Rail Baltica in the Baltics is the Rail Baltic Railway, of course, and this is to connect us in the European gauge network. So this is pretty much the bottom line of going on with this development in the first place. So as you probably are aware, Poland has always had the 1435 or the European gauge network, and this is, if we're not considering the connection that currently is there between Kaunas in Lithuania and Poland, then the Baltics still use the 1520 gauge railway. So this is a totally new standard for us, sort of trying to right the wrong, so to speak, of the sort of historic injustice in this part of the Europe. So yeah, there will be a connection, and this is what the project is meant for, to create that European gauge connection to the rest of the Europe. We are on schedule here in Estonia, for sure, at the moment. It is very challenging. I think there are no naive people inside the project that day in, day out doesn't stress about whether we're going to make it or not. But this is the objective. And you know what happens to objectives if you let them go too early, then you will just float. So we gotta keep this target date in our heads every day. So this is the goal, to finish it on time. I mean, we can't take responsibility of what is happening in Latvia and Lithuania, although we're doing the same project, and we are, somewhat worried whether it will happen simultaneously, all the developments. But we are trying to inspire them by going outside and doing what we do, construct the railway. So we had a couple of more questions. We'll start from here.
Another question about aggregates. Aggregates for ready-mix concrete, will that be found domestically, or is it demands for harder stone material?
So same for both alliances. Yes, we expect to find aggregate for concrete locally as of today.
Yes, my life is now simple.
This is what I call teamwork. So I will pass on the microphone, it's easier.
My name is Lauri from Safer Baltic. Question, you are building one single lane of railway. Is there reduced volumes for superstructure also? võib-olla eesti keeles siis, et kas pealisehituses on mingisuguseid vähendamisi ka, et kui te ehitate välja teise raudtee, et siis tuleb mingisugust muid asju veel juurde? Et põhiprojektiga mingisugused asjad on vaja välja ehitada, et siis
we will show you the picture what is meant if we talk about phasing the works. Not from Stefan's presentation, maybe. You need to. Well, basically, what will be phased is that we will install the sub-ballast layer, but we will not install a ballast and rails and sleepers on top of it for the double track. So this is the only thing. And of course, if you talk about E&E, with the catenary works also will be reduced in the phase one. But in terms of access roads, maintenance roads, noise barriers, fencing, nothing will be left out from the phase one scope, because it needs to be in a level that if we at some point decide to install the second lane of tracks, then it will be quite easily manageable. And also this phasing will influence the CCS part as well, because we don't need to install all these equipment and cabling for the double track, basically. Did I answer?
This picture shows quite well. Yeah. I think this picture shows quite well what is the intent. So you see from the superstructure and including the catenary. Of course, for example, when we build access road, we will try to have the access road on the left side of the picture to facilitate access for the future, but it will not always be possible. So sometimes the access road will be on the right-hand side.
So we are definitely on a roll with the questions here. Maybe just a couple of more at least. Is it okay for you to speak without the microphone, or you want me to? Okay.
Design now fully finished? Is it in a construction phase, or is it still preliminary phase? And is both alliances open for value engineering and looking for optimizing the structures, mainly the questions about the structures mainly?
Okay, so the question was that what is the level of the design, and are we still looking for value engineering for the design? The answer is yes. Okay, we have the input information, of course, has been the previous phases design work that has been done by the RBE. We are trying ways to optimize the solutions, trying to find cost-effective solutions, and also within planning the construction, what would be cost-effective way, and also the life cycle costs are taken into account when we are trying to get the best value out of the development phase, so for the design part. Of course, the design will partly continue to the implementation phase also, so we will now do in the development phase the level of design that is required for setting the target cost.
Yeah, same as Laura. We finished, between inverted commas, our optimization phase yesterday, and we are proceeding with a master design. We aim at finishing the master design in March, April next year. However, we are always open if someone has a good idea which brings a significant value for the project. Value not necessarily in terms of money, but we are open to ideas. The basic design is more or less frozen, and now we are producing the master design. We are open. We are open at any time. The earlier the better.
Okay, we maybe get the gentleman from the back.
Thank you. Pavel from the same company. Question. We've seen some overbridges for roads, for example. Who's going to be the maintenance body of those bridges? Who's going to be the owner? Thank you. Difficult question.
Yeah, difficult question, yes. No, in terms of, if we talk about national roads, then inside the country we have made a decision that if we talk about bridges or viaducts that will go over the railway and are part of the national road, the maintenance will be, the owner will be the National Road Authority there. If we talk about ecoducts, then most likely it's going to be us as RBE. We will be the infra manager in general as well. If we talk about not operating the railway, but maintaining the railway, then the RBE is going to be the entity that will do that. If we talk about local roads, then we try to, then the decision has been made that the overall structure itself, the owner will be, again, National Road Authority, but maintenance will be done by us there.
In addition to the maintenance, the alliances, each alliance will be responsible for a 5-year warranty period or defect liability period starting from the commissioning of the line. This is warranty period, it's not maintenance, but you have to consider all potential suppliers and subcontractors 5-year warranty starting from acceptance.
I think we had a question here as well.
Yes, within the programs you've developed, what are their working hours and working days, and how do they change through the schedule?
Have to say that we don't have answer to that yet. That depends, of course. Do we have local workforce that we can have the normal working hours, or do we have foreign people that will work like 1 week work, 1 week off for 2 weeks periods? I think those will be related to the country also that they are coming. But that's an interesting one, because that also affects the effectiveness of the works. So that will be something that will be discussed during the development phase also.
And are there any restrictions on
Yeah, the legal requirements. What makes it a bit easier than average railway project is that this is greenfield project, so we don't have traffic going on there. So we are able to use the normal working hours.
In the Alliance 2 area, there are very few populated areas, but there are significant restrictions on noise due to some protected species. Apart from that, for the human beings, the restrictions will come from the labor law in Estonia. For the environment, most of the restrictions will come from some protected species.
Oh, we have more questions. Great. Here you are.
Yes, it's Leka International again. You're lucky you don't have quick clay here in Estonia, but what are the main geotechnical and hydrological challenges you're facing for both alliances?
This is going to be about the wetlands now.
Yes, we have a lot of challenges, although we don't have that quick clay here. But as you see, Estonia is very flat country, and there are a lot of wetland areas, also Natura protected areas, so that we have wetland and Natura areas. As in Rämabok, we have long distance of a bog that is regulated by the Natura areas, so that bridge type of structures might be the most effective way of building a railway over those. But we have these wetland areas all over, and of course that brings another challenge to the geological design, because we need to have a lot of geological investigations to be done, so that we have enough information about these geological conditions to make the design for the whole railway line.
Same, Natura areas also exist. They even exist. We found out that there is a world beyond the Latvian border where there are some restrictions, and in some areas we come so close to the Latvian border before reaching it that there are environmental constraints coming from the Latvian side. The bogs are in Laura's area, lucky she. In the southern part, we have a very, very flat and humid land, which generates other type of problems, in particular for drainage. Our drainage engineers are scratching their heads, because to have an efficient drainage system when you have a very flat land, it's not that easy.
Just to add that it's much more easier to build the railway here in north, because the bedrock is quite close to the level of the ground. But if we go more south, then the bedrock goes more away. So we have clay layers, but and all the soft soils are there. So there are many challenges of constructing a railway embankment that will stay in place for 100 years. Thanks.
So we have more questions. It's great.
Thank you. My name is Andrzej, and I'm representing Menard Group. So I'm interested in Rämabok, as you described. Yeah. So nice to meet you. And my question is, will you be involved somehow in subcontracting such, let's say, strategic works like drainage, vertical drainage, for example?
Of course, we are interested. We want to choose best for the project principle to build that. We are also studying our own resources on that, and the methods that we have and the machines. But of course, we are interested. If you have good suggestions, what would be the best way to do it?
So maybe a couple of more questions, at least. No. Okay then, it seems like you have a chance for a slightly longer lunch break. I think it is needed, maybe to have even longer little pause. because the afternoon is going to be intense, especially for our team. But we've tried to set up just a few words about the afternoon sessions. We have tried to set it up in a way that all the companies that registered before today in the morning, then each of those companies have a time slot to have a meeting with Alliance 1 team members and Alliance 2 team members. So you are all going to get 2 meetings of 15 minutes for the speed dating. During lunch hours, we are trying to set up the schedule here, so it's a dedicated time for you. There's 10 tables set up in the next room, so it's going to be pretty quick and intense way to understand what your company is about, because and what kind of particular questions you will have. I think it's the best format for us to actually listen and make notes, exchange contacts, of course, for whatever follow-up we're planning. And as Laura mentioned before, this is definitely not going to be the first and the last market dialogue. We're trying to arrange them possibly in the beginning of next year, but also try to keep the good contact with the suppliers throughout those times as well, where we actually meet. So yeah, if we don't have any questions at the moment, maybe also about the afternoon sessions. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Wraps it up for these sessions. You will have water, coffee, tea, cookies, I think fruits as well throughout the day as a refreshment. So I hope you have a splendid day of networking to each other as well, not just the Alliance members. And yes, we are trying to put up the schedules for the afternoon sessions. So who RSVP'd to the invitation are definitely going to find their names in the schedule. So if not any more questions, I think you're free to go. Please do try to gather, in some proximity of this conference center. I think around 12:15, so we can have a timely start to the afternoon sessions. So thank you again, and I hope you will find nice places to have lunch, network, and maybe have a small walk around the area of Ülemiste city. It's nice weather, so let's take it in. Thank you.